please welcome the SVP and Head of Customer Experience at Hilton, Mike Gathright, in conversation with Skift Senior Travel Tech Editor, Sean O'Neill.
Thanks, Aisha, for that introduction. And Mike, I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Thank you for joining us for this summit today.
Absolutely, Sean. Glad to be here.
Well, we love breaking news at Skift, so tell us, what is the news from Hilton?
Yeah, Sean, I'm excited to be sharing today that Hilton is the first major hotel company to solve a long-time travel frustration, and that's the booking of connecting rooms. And so today, right here with you, we're announcing Confirm Connecting Rooms by Hilton. And that allows guests to easily book and instantly confirm at least 2 connecting rooms, both on Hilton.com and in our Hilton Honors app. So, Sean, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of our guests have had the challenge of trying to book connecting rooms prior, but for those that may not, the experience was typically in the you would book the 2 rooms and you would make a notation that you wanted the connecting rooms. Often you would follow up with calls or emails to the hotel or to the reservation center to be able to do so. And many times you were only getting that confirmed when you arrived at check-in. And if the rooms weren't available, that was often leading to you getting off the wrong foot at the beginning of your trip. And so again, today we're excited that in the booking process, you'll now be able to easily book and instantly confirm up to 2 connecting rooms.
That's fantastic. And it makes sense, as you mentioned, it's a consumer pain point to have to call in, but also for the hotel staff, it's an inconvenience. So it's sort of solving 2 pain points at once. What is going to be the rollout? Is this across all of the Hilton portfolio?
It is. I'll tell you a little bit about the background on it. We were doing a lot of research as we were thinking about, our next brand, and as we were exploring what has now become Motto by Hilton, we really saw that guests were saying, "Hey, I want flexible space. I want, convenience," and research was showing us that about half of guests that were traveling together were interested in inquiring about adjoining rooms. So we started the concept with Motto, and that we began perfecting the technology to be able to do that for Motto. But what we found very quickly was, well, hey, if we have this available for Motto, let's make it available for all of our brands. So we will, by the end of the summer, we'll be at 90% of our hotels. We've got it. All 18 of our brands have hotels that have connecting rooms, and so this will be at scale immediately. And really, really excited about that. And I think our guests will be as well.
Fantastic. We'll be posting live details for more about this on skift.com shortly. But let's use this as an example to go up a level, because I know a lot of people attending the Skift Summit, they're facing a decision coming out of this crisis about how to invest in tech, what to prioritize, what to do, what not. So using this as an example, how did this get to the top of your product roadmap? You talked a little bit about, as you were going through with the Motto development, but is there a bigger picture aspect?
Yeah, Sean, for us, really, if you go back over the last 100 years, Hilton has been focused on innovation, and going all the way back to the first TVs in hotel rooms and air conditionings, all the way to the first centralized reservation center. And so for us, it's really sort of a core of our DNA. And this pandemic has given us that opportunity to really look at what are the trends that are accelerating. Obviously, we've seen digitization accelerating. For us at Hilton, we'd been focused on convenience with our guests for a number of years, and specifically had focused on some of what became really important in the contactless technology space with digital check-in, choose your room, and digital key. And we had that at scale, in more than 5,000 of our properties prior to the pandemic. Became very important. So again, during the pandemic, we were really looking at what are those things that are accelerating. What are the areas that our guests are most interested in? I mentioned with the Motto exploration and the research we were learning from our guests, and also what's not changing is also something that's been important to focus on. We know that at the end of the day, we're a people serving people business, and they want friendly and reliable. And so a lot of our focus, when we look at the convenience or the contactless, has been on that both allows our guests convenience, but also pulls our team members away from some of the transactional items and allowing them to, really be able to engage directly with our guests in a more friendly way.
That's interesting because I know you had, before you went to Hilton, you were working for several years as an executive at Amazon. And I know Amazon has that long-term perspective rather than focusing what's changing in the short term, execute and what's the long-term trend. It sounds like Hilton is continuing to do that. We did do an audience poll about the ownership structure and whether having sort of like the franchise model causes a headwind, and so I'm wondering at Hilton, is it a case where all of your stakeholders are sort of like pointing fingers at each other? You pay for it. No, you pay for it. Or are you able to have a unified approach on tech?
No, I think we very much have a unified approach, and again, we come at it from a holistic customer perspective. So when our teams are looking at the customer, we're thinking about the guest, we're thinking about our team members, and we're thinking about our owners. And we make sure that we really evaluate all of those stakeholders and all of those customers in the decisions you make. So again, when you look at some of the enhancements that we've made with digital check-in and digital key, those are benefits for our team members, they're benefits for our guests, and they're benefits for our owners. And the same thing with Confirmed Connecting Rooms by Hilton. This is something that guests want. It really, if you will, starts the flywheel with amazing brands and guest experiences, is what is going to bring traffic and occupancy to our hotels. And so we very much look at it in a holistic view.
Do you do anything for the owners on the tech front?
Yeah, I mean, I think again, we've spent a lot of time, thinking about this space for them, whether it be with contactless, whether it would be with driving adoption into the app and the benefits that it has for our owners. And it's a space we continue to evolve. And this pandemic has given a lot of opportunities to reset. There's a lot of conversations around housekeeping and how you enable that. And we're definitely spending time with our owners in that space, seeking to really understand the challenges that they have, the what's most important to them, and making sure that we're addressing and meeting their needs as well.
That makes a good point, because that is a thread that we're going to be having running throughout all of our sessions at this Skift Summit today, is like, how is the pandemic going to have a long-term impact on the hospitality sector? And what I'm hearing there from you is an awareness of certain trends that may have sped up, that have been ongoing for quite some time, rather than like new realities that you suddenly have to cope with. And that is one effect. Is there anything in terms of like some of the dashboards that you have for owners, or some other tools that you have at Hilton?
Yeah, and I think exactly the point you just made, Sean. I think a lot of these trends aren't new. They may be slightly accelerated, and so we're spending a lot of time there with our owner community, understanding what their needs are, looking at the systems, in terms of our property management systems and how we enable those. A number of years ago now, we rolled out our smart room technology and are continuing to do that, which allows, again, convenience for our guests. And it's also efficient and effective for our owners as well. And so those are examples of where we continue to really understand what their needs are and how we can best meet those.
Yeah, I remember when Chris Nassetta came to Skift Global Forum in 2017, and he sort of talked about his vision for the connected room, like the smart thermostats, like you were talking about, something different from the connecting rooms that we were talking about at the beginning. But what is the next phase of development for that? What are you excited about for Hilton in that vision?
Yeah, we've really been focused in the pandemic on scale to start with, and have actually staying here at the Hilton McLean and enjoying the smart room technology during this stay. But as we look forward, I think it really gives us an opportunity to create personalization with our guests, our owners. We've seen hotels a lot go to sort of the digital compendiums in the room, no more paper. And so how do you really enable that product, to be able to serve that need for again, our hotels, to be able to share information as well as just being personalized to the guest when they arrive in the room. So we'll be spending a lot of time in the year coming on sort of that next evolution of our smart room technology.
Now, you've taken a lead as a leader. You've taken an interest in accessibility. It's been an important issue for you. What are some things you can talk about for Hilton's approach on accessibility?
Yeah, Sean, I've had the benefit since I joined Hilton of leading our team member resource group, our abilities team member resource group, and also joining the board for the National Organization on Disabilities. And the NOD's focus is really on the employment of those with disabilities, the full employment of those with disabilities. And Hilton has really leaned into that space. We have our own digital accessibility team. A lot of companies outsource that work or maybe contract that work out. But for us, it's really important to really kind of swim all the way upstream to understand the needs. Many of the team members that we have on our accessibility team identify with disabilities, and that really helps a lot in the work that we do. And so some of the products we rolled out, I mean, obviously our shopping and booking experience, we spent a lot of time in the search, making sure most don't realize this, but screen readers are able to integrate with our searching experience, enabling the booking process. And the smart room, John, that we were just talking about, is able to control everything in your room from your phone. So previously, if you were in a wheelchair, you may have had challenge reaching a thermostat. If you were blind, you may have been trying to find the thermostat or the remote, and now everything's available within your phone. So again, it's really been enabled by an intense focus and making sure that again we're sort of swimming upstream and building accessibility in from the very beginning versus it being an afterthought at the end.
That makes sense. We heard at the top of the summit from Heisha Wong, our Skift research director. She talked about how the hospitality sector has a good digital ground game, especially in marketing, but it could be fine-tuned. We could learn some best practices to up our game, make sure you're tracking the right metrics and not vanity metrics. Going back to your point about having previously been an executive at Amazon, what are some of the more nuanced philosophical ways you sort of like try to raise the tech metabolism, get it even to the higher level at Hilton?
Yeah, well, I think, again, a lot of it goes back to really sort of understanding, what the problem is that you're trying to solve. We talk a lot in our product teams, right? Sort of fall in love with the problem, not with the solution. I think it's easy at times in tech to get sort of excited about something and you want it to win, but you've got to be really clear about, what that problem is that you're trying to solve and make sure you fall in love with that. And that, again, as we've talked about, can be, challenges that our guests or customers are facing, things that led to Confirm Connecting Rooms by Hilton, things that our team members are facing, or things that our owners are facing. And so we really, tried to focus in that area. And then it's a balance of sort of short and long term. You've got to be sort of watching where things are going. A lot of us are getting our expectations set, not just within the hospitality industry, but by companies like Amazon and others that really set the bar for what that customer experience is. And so we're paying attention to that. We're watching those things evolve and trying to make sure that we have that right balance of short-term value, again, for our owners and for our guests, with some of the long-term focus areas of things we've done. And again, the smart room was a long-term investment we made. Digital check-in, digital key, choose your room. All of those were longer-term investments, and we would have, of course, never anticipated that a pandemic like what we just went through was going to happen. But how valuable were those for us during that time period? So again, really trying to make sure we keep that long-term view.
That's very interesting about how the pandemic will have a long-term impact. Thank you for sharing the news about the connecting rooms. Great to have. Good luck with the launch. And it was wonderful talking with you today, Mike.
You as well, Sean. Thanks so much for having me on today.